Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. Of course, the hit Netflix series came out over a month ago now at this point, and is still one of the top shows on Netflix. In fact, actually has become the second most watched English language Netflix series after Stranger Things, of course. So it's a pretty big deal, and this show has been going through controversy with a lot of people feeling uncomfortable about the fact that this show is a thing, people finding it disgusting, which it is extremely disgusting. I mean, this guy ate people. That's not family friendly right there. Some people were even thinking that it romanticized the idea of Jeffrey Dahmer and the things that he did, made you feel bad for him. And it did. It did make you feel bad for him, and because it's showing things from his perspective. But at the same time, then you see him murder people and eat people and do all the other disgusting things he does, and it's like, oh yeah, never mind, I do not feel bad for this guy. So yeah, the whole idea of this show has been pretty crazy. I was a little late to the party, but I did end up watching the whole series with my girlfriend, and it's crazy. It's a crazy show, but it's a good show. It is a really good, disgusting show, but it's a well-written, well-performed show. Evan Peters, amazing as Jeffrey Dahmer. So honestly, gotta say, I want to say I enjoyed it, but I guess I enjoyed it. I mean, it was disgusting to watch, but it was intriguing for sure. And now, today, I just opened up Twitter and saw the announcement that Netflix, after having such success with the show, has decided to renew the show. And when I first read this, I was like, wait a second. Okay, first of all, it makes sense. It was a super huge hit, super successful. Netflix, they like making money, so they're going to do more of it. But Jeffrey Dahmer kind of died, so how are you going to do another season, especially 2 more seasons? Well, they're not renewing the Jeffrey Dahmer story, but they are renewing Monster. So nobody called this show Monster. Everybody called it Dahmer. But the real true title is Dahmer, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. So they have renewed the Monster franchise, I guess, for 2 additional seasons that will focus on, instead, different horrific individuals that have impacted our society throughout history as well. So Dahmer is just the first season, apparently. We're getting 2 more seasons about different serial killers, which, I mean, actually, is a pretty brilliant idea on Netflix's part, because, I mean, with the success of Dahmer, it makes sense. And again, there a lot of people do not like the idea of the show being a thing, so they're really not going to like the idea that we're getting more of it. But I think it's cool. I think it's good to know about these types of things, especially because one of the biggest things with that show, with Dahmer, is that it was showing how the signs were there the whole time, and just because people didn't take the effort to look into things, the carnage continued. So I think telling these stories is actually important. It's important that we know about these people because they are part of our history. I mean, it's the same way, in history class we learn about world wars and all that stuff. This is kind of important history as well, especially because I didn't know anything about Jeffrey Dahmer before this show. But now, like I said, these next 2 seasons, they're going to be focusing on different serial killers. Now, there's no information revealed as to who it is. It's kind of funny. I was reading the comment section on one of these posts, and everybody was theorizing about who it's going to be. I feel like one of them has to be John Wayne Gacy, especially because he was literally featured in Dahmer, which was actually one of the biggest surprises for me. I didn't expect to see that, but we did get to see the character feature, or the guy featured in the final episode. He was actually the opening to the final episode. We also witnessed his death, but honestly, a whole series or a whole season about his story, because I really don't know that much about him either. I just know creepy dude, dressed up as a clown, murdered people, probably did some other disgusting stuff. I'd be interested in watching a whole season about that. I definitely think that's really interesting. Plus, you already have an actor for the role, unless they recast, which I think is actually probably more likely. But then again, the actor that was playing the guy in that one episode, I think he did a pretty good job. Then the other one that I saw going around a lot of people saying that they should do one on Ted Bundy, which I think makes a lot of sense as well. This is another one of the big ones that I've heard about but don't really know much about. So that would definitely make sense. Plus, they've done other Netflix projects on this guy. But there's plenty of serial killers out there in the world. Maybe like the Zodiac killer, get something like that in there. There's been some messed up people in this world. So, storytelling on Netflix, and they're really taking advantage of the success of Dahmer. And really, can you blame them? Like I said, I think it's actually a great idea. I really thought Dahmer was a great show. So if they can recreate that and tell these other stories of these other historical serial killers, I think it's actually a really cool idea, and I am kind of intrigued to see what kind of like what people they're actually going to focus on, and casting and all that stuff. But I'm kind of excited for this. So guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Have you seen Dahmer? What did you think about it? Do you think the whole idea is disgusting? And who do you think they're going to focus on for these next few seasons? Let me know down in the comments below. But for now, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything goes on in the movie life.